Assalamualaikum. Today, me and my friend will be presenting and doing the group project assignment. And the purpose of this assignment is to create a basic web application on WebServer, MySQL server, and Firewall server using three CentOS 7 VM architecture. So this is the diagram we need to refer as our reference. So first step is we must have three virtual machine, web server, database, and firewall. And next step will be configuring all those three virtual machine. And for my part, I'll be explaining how to configure the web server virtual machine. The first thing to do on the web server virtual machine is to make sure edit the etc host file. So as I showed earlier, I've edited the etc host file, so I just show it using cat. And then on the web server, we need to install some services. Now those services are HTTPD, mod underscore SSL, PHP MySQL, and MariaDB. After completed all the installation process, we need to enable and start and enable both services, HTTPD and MariaDB. Next step is to create the HTML file for the web server application. And I have already prepared my HTML, so I just copy from my notepad and then paste it into my web server. Next is to edit the PHP file, which is for the transferring user input into the database. So I've also created the PHP file on my notepad, and I just need to copy and paste it on my web server virtual machine. After completed both steps, creating the HTML and PHP file, we need to install MySQL with MySQL secure installation. After completed the MySQL installation, I check the network interface by using ifconfig command. So then I will proceed with firewall configuration, allowing port and services on the network interface. So first step is I need to change the interface zone to private zone. Then allowing services and port into the zone, network zone. So first I'll be allowing services HTTP and HTTPS. And then I will add masquerade on the private zone. And next is to allow the MariaDB port 3306 on the private zone. And last firewall configuration is to add MySQL services on the private zone. To save all the firewall configuration, run firewall reload command. Then I will check my firewall configuration on my private zone. In this step, I'll be configuring SE Linux boolean for both services HTTPD and MySQL. This is to allow remote access for MySQL and to let the web server access the database remotely. After that, run the systemctl restart for both services HTTPD and MariaDB to make sure all the configuration is safe. Lastly, to verify all the configuration of the web server, I will previewing the web server application on the web server virtual machine. So open the browser on the web server virtual machine and then enter the IP address of the web server, and we can see that our web server is now can be accessed.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Mohamad Farid Amirul. Today I will explain how to configure database VM. And for the step 1, we will install service needed, which is MariaDB, PHP MySQL, and HTTPD. And for the second step is we will start the MariaDB. And for the third step is we will enable MariaDB. And for the step 5 is we will install MariaDB with an automated secure installation script. And for the step 6 is we will restart the MariaDB service. And for the step 7, 8 and 9, we will open a port and add services on a firewall. And for the step 10, we will configure Selenium booleans for MySQL. And for the step 11, we will configure Selenium booleans for HTTPD. And for step 12, we will restart the HTTPD service. And for the step 13, also we will restart the MariaDB service. And for the step 14, we will log in into the MariaDB. Step 15, after we log in into the MariaDB, we will grant a privilege to remotely access database. For the step 16, we will flash the privilege. And for the step 17, also we will flash the host. And for the final step is, which is step 18, we will create a database and its table. Lastly, we will verify that the database can be accessed remotely from the web server.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Mohamad Firdaus bin Marzuki. I would like to demo configuration of Firewall. First thing first, edit host file. To edit host file, we need to issue command vim etc host. After that, check the network configuration. To check network configuration, we need to issue if config to look for network, and there we got two network, which endpost S3 and endpost S8. Next, we create unique ID for endpost S8. Next is we issue command vim to network import S3 to change protocol to static, and add zone and set to private, which is the MZX. Secondly, config import S8 since network import S8 0 configuration. We copy configuration from imports S3 After that, edit import S8 network file using Vim. Here, edit network name. After that, edit UUID of import network. Edit device name to import S8. Change IP address, gateway, DNS. Lastly, zone to public zone. After that, to apply all edited network configuration using systemctl, restart network manager. Next is install several service. Use yum install to install HTTPS to review HTTPD at WebServer machine. After that, start the service using systemctl start HTTPD. Next, enable the service. After that, create system link using iptable command. Systemctl mask iptable and systemctl mask ip6 table. Next configuration is open port forwarding, and add service on firewall. First, open port configuration for both networking zone, and command goes firewall cmd permanent at masquerade. After that, we need to configure port forwarding to private zone. And now, config firewall to add service HTTPS and HTTP to both network zone. After all configuration of firewall, we need to reload firewall to make sure firewall is fully functioning. Lastly, verify the web server.
Okay, this is the last step to verify all our configuration. So first of all, I will open my web browser and then enter the IP address for the web server application, web server page. And then so here is the step to enter all the user input. And then submit all the user input. So it is successfully inserted in the database. And then to verify that the data has been sent into the database, I will open the database virtual machine. And then go to MySQL, open the MySQL, and then check the database and open the table for the database. And we can see that the user input earlier, the data earlier has been saved into the database. That's all from us. Thank you.